You think of a reel or a social media post like a seed out there, all by itself, doing its job, linked to SEO hashtags and keywords in your post, and depending on what kind of audience you have, seeing the growth, seeing each individual post act like a way to get a client, get the word out about you. So if you're a small business out there, that's what I do. And I love doing it. And I'm good at it. You want to think of those personalities under your roof. The funny guy in the kitchen nobody sees in your restaurant. Film him. Show the people who's cooking their food. You'll get more people. That's the tip for today. Go hiking.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Welcome to the Aries Brood podcast. My name is Lucas, and I will be your host this afternoon. So I'm really excited about this. Joel Hunt has really been real gracious about giving so many veterans a voice here at Military Broadcast Radio, and and that is why. I am here.
You are here, and this is going to be the first board game ever in MBR history. It's exciting. I mean, that's so cool. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Okay, check this out. Okay, so when he displays cards, he's going to show a table. Now, come on, look out, HGTV. You know, it's cool shit. This is a great idea, man.
Well, thank you. And and so I will be joined shortly by Bill Woods, and together we're going to be getting into just some role-playing games that we feel like just aren't quite getting enough love, and role-playing games, and just like the board game industry in general. Just has a lot of veterans. Like veterans are everywhere, and so I've been blown away by going to Gen Con and seeing so many veterans there. Going to Genghis Con, which is the largest board game convention here in Colorado. And so much of the staff being veterans as well. Also Tacticon, same deal, veterans everywhere, and just seeing how involved they are in the industry, and and just being game masters, presiding over these games in some cases, fairly complex games, that I think veterans like are astute at, and kind of breaking down for folks, and so it's just been exciting just seeing that veterans involved in the board game community.
And you're going to probably bring up a lot of beginners after you show them how to do this, and after you kind of break it down to them Barney style, because 90% of people aren't doing stuff because they don't know how to do it.
Right. Yeah. And so, yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I think that role-playing games in particular are just like a great social outlet. They're a great like social game that people can assume different identities. You're a private detective.
Well,
today.
Before you get into that, tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Like you're an Army veteran.
Yes. Yeah, I was a combat medic in the United States Army from 2007, 2012, and a deployment to Iraq and Afghanistan. And yeah, I and with as much downtime as I had, I wish I would have been able to jump into some board games.
Oh, you didn't play board games in Iraq?
No, and I should have but well, especially in Iraq.
Right, because that's all you have is spades.
Right. Right.
Spades or Uno, but nobody wanted to play Uno with me.
Yeah.
Jackpots.
Yeah. So yeah. I after getting out of the military in 2012, then I went on to film school. Went to New York Film Academy there in Los Angeles, and so cranked out some screenplays. Got some movies made, and and just really got the creative bug, and really at that time, yeah, just really kind of like got back into role-playing games and just gaming in general. I don't know. I think it was like after, I don't know about like you, but like right after the military, you almost feel like it's just like a new lease on life, and you just gotta it's like a reset, of who you are almost, and that you're trying to kind of like, get back to just some creative roots, so I think that like role-playing games and just gaming in general, I mean, it's just like great, safe, way of kind of connecting with people again, connecting with, communities again, and just having some fun with people. Because as much as I enjoyed having fun, like with the, with my brothers in arms, you do have to, like recognize that, like civilians, are out there and among us, and so and gotta get reconnected, like into that community, and and games are just like a really fun way of just kind of getting back into it. So I have had the pleasure of running games with Lurking Fears at Gen Con. We basically like run like all of the game rooms in for Free League, Shadow Dark, so Arcane Library, Chaosium. So many great brands in the role-playing game industry, and I've just really kind of just been just diving in and figuring out my place in in all that. So and so much of the games that we will be talking about, and then and also that will be playing like into the future, then will be some of these great games. So,
so basically, what your shows consist of is you're going to review some of these board games.
oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
sure. So today, we are going to be going over Whispers in the Walls. Now, if you go to camera 2, there. So Whispers in the Walls. I'm cheating a little bit, because while this isn't necessarily like a solo RPG, what it is like it's a, as it calls itself, a solo horror journaling game, and it's um it's like a great way of just kind of like running into writing prompts that you wouldn't have thought of otherwise. And you're a private investigator that is kind of investigating a crime, investigating a murder. But I mean, ultimately, you're all by yourself. You can make it about whatever you'd like. But what you run into isn't necessarily, like in your complete control. So, and all you need is a deck of cards and a piece of paper and a pencil, and it's a fantastic game that just really challenges you as a person, to like, well, um, what exactly am I going to do if I'm in a room that just starts, I don't know, bleeding, and you start, hearing, like wild noises. These are, it's really, it's a great game that just challenges what you're willing to write about, and and what you personally, I don't know, want to talk about. So at the end of it, like you really kind of wind up like with a really cool short story, basically. So, um, but yeah, it's fantastic, and I highly recommend it. Um, and then we're and so what lies beneath is another one that we'll be getting into a bit. And what lies beneath is actually like a role playing game, and it very much is like, um, very much like the Choose Your Own Adventures. The Choose Your Own Adventure books. Did you ever read those as a kid, Joel?
I did. I was going to say, before we get too far into it, we'll take a music break, but continue your thought.
Yeah, it's just a great take, like on role playing games that that you can play by yourself. So, but yeah, more on that very, very soon.
Yeah, we'll probably have to redo this music bed because I'm not feeling it. I know you're not feeling it either, but it is that time. We're gonna go on break. Like I said, this was the first time that we've ever did something like this, so it's kind of cool. Stick with us. Don't go away, folks. We got some great music on the way, and then Scott. It's named Bill. Bill.
Yes.
Bill will join us. So whatever you do, stay with us. Don't go away. You're listening to the Aries podcast right here on MBR, letting our veterans' voices be heard.
Out of balance and you fell into the ocean again. My heart was sinking when I saw you didn't know how to swim. Tried to pull you out, you said just let me drown. You won't let go of all the things that into the water, darkness covered my head. You pulled me down into the deep. I tried to give you my breath, but you didn't care. I touched your face and said, I've gotta let you go. I'm running out of air. Ooh, I can finally see you don't give a fuck about me. What was I fighting for? I guess I'll never know. Can't do this anymore. I'm swimming for the shore. Took off my cape, this superhero will not save you again. You are the one who wears a mask. You are the one who pretends that you don't need my help. Now I've got nothing left. Maybe the bravest thing I can do is to save myself. I can finally see you don't give a fuck about me. What was I fighting for? I guess I'll never know. Can't do this anymore. I'm swimming for the shore. Tried to give you my breath, but I've got nothing left. Maybe the bravest thing I can do is to save myself. I'll never know. Can't do this anymore. I'm swimming for the shore. Ooh, I can finally see you don't give a fuck about me. What was I fighting for? I guess I'll never know. Can't do this anymore. I'm swimming for the shore.
It's the guts and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Hey, from the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana, to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop, and his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's the light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on the front line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, pay the ultimate price. Oh. march in line, march in line. Hey. Hey.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Hello, and we're back. So, yeah. So, we are going to, while we are still waiting on Bill to arrive. So I don't know, if all right. So be thinking about like what some of your favorite games are, because that's what we're going to be getting into is some of our favorite games, and some of my personal favorites. The Bloody Inn. The Bloody Inn is a board game that you are a greedy family of innkeepers, and speaking of greedy innkeepers, no, no. Bill, welcome to the show. How are you, Bill? No, it's great. And
You should be good, Bill. Do a radio check real quick.
1, 2, 3. I'm here.
Well, bring closer to the mic.
Yeah. So, how have you been doing? It's been a while since I've talked to you.
A chance.
Yeah. So, we've been just talking about just board games in general, and just kind of like how I feel like everywhere that I go, like conventions and such, that veterans are just like involved in almost like every like facet, so like I'm finding like at
like everywhere in life.
much like life, and so it's just been really encouraging, to just kind of see like at Genghis Khan, much of the staff, being veterans, you yourself, you're a veteran. I remember when I initially reached out, and I was like, hey, Bill, do you know anybody who might be a veteran? And you're like, me, and I
By the way, that's me.
and I had no idea. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, as far as the veteran goes, we're looking at only 6 years, 92 to 97. Electronic warfare, aviation, 3rd Armored Cavalry Regiment, Air Cav, and here I am after that. Great. So it's been a number of years, and growing up playing Dungeons and Dragons and board games in the tumultuous 80s. And now I get to own part of the store. So
Fantastic. So, I may or may not have mentioned this, but Bill Woods is the owner of Enchanted Grounds. Like
one of there's two of us.
Okay.
I'm not the one that started it, but
cool.
I did get to join, and it's been great. So
fantastic.
It gets me, keeps me connected to a ton of different games. Keep my pulse on the industry, and of course. I think Denver is a great area for games in general. We have so many gamers, and I'm more so than any place I've been in the country.
Nice. Okay. So,
and then, of course, a great many of us are veterans as well, because Denver just has so many different military installations in the area. And I think many of us, like myself, originally from Southwestern Virginia, I miss my Appalachians, but I love my Rockies.
Nice. Yeah. So, so how did how were you led to like getting involved in the gaming industry, or in gaming in general,
So, I mean, from a young age, playing games and being involved. And then after joining the Army, I just happened to be, whether lucky enough or however, that I was involved in a unit that also had a lot of gamers in it. And then after leaving the Army, and because I work in the IT field, then there's tons of us gamers in the IT field as well. And did a lot of my work remotely, did a lot of work out of Enchanted Grounds. And one of the things that, I need to do my work remotely is a network. And my business partner at Enchanted Grounds is a bit of a Luddite. And so eventually, as I started sticking my nose into his electronics, and then found myself growing in my involvement from there, and eventually got asked to join on as a partner. So did some my investment there, and then into the gaming industry, beyond just being a gamer at that point, being a co-owner of a board game cafe, of course, put me right in the crosshairs, or rather put the gaming industry right in my crosshairs.
That's great. And so like I really felt, so when I got out of the military in 2012, then I really kind of like found that it was, or I kind of felt like it was like I don't know, like a reset into like kind of like getting more social with folks and whatnot, and to me like I had been out of role-playing games for a while, probably like not since like early college, and so then like when I got out of the military, then I don't know, role-playing games just kind of like almost was kind of like it helped me kind of like get back like and socially involved with folks a bit. I don't know, did you find that like games like kind of help I don't know, just anybody even just become like more social, and just,
well, certainly the social aspect of gaming, and being a nerdy kid, you rely on that social aspect, and that becomes a way to connect with people. And of course, now it is much more accepted socially to be a gamer. And but when I was growing up, you had to listen for keywords. You'd be out places, and over your shoulder, you'd hear somebody say "Cobalt," and you're like, "Oh wait, this is a potential friend." Okay. But otherwise, and then getting out of the Army, the Army kind of kept me involved in gaming. And once I left the Army and found myself, working in the IT field, and I was a road warrior, I was traveling a lot. So at that point is when I really fell away from the social aspect of gaming, because I just wasn't connecting with people on a physical basis. And at that time, being in hotel rooms a lot with a laptop and falling into World of Warcraft and other online games. And it probably wasn't until the, much lamented D&D 4th edition that I didn't start getting out again and playing. So, for anything that anybody has to say about 4th edition on the negative side, and certainly I have my thoughts, but at the same time, it got me reconnected with people again because I wasn't traveling as much, and I was like, I've got to get away from the computer. And so my wife and I went out to the game stores, found groups, and started playing. And then from there, it just snowballed into everything.
Cool. Yeah. Way back in high school, I was an avid, so one of my favorite role-playing games was the Aliens by Leading Edge Games. And then, many a moon later, so just about 5 years ago, then I happened upon the Alien role-playing game by Free League, and then that really that really made me want to like try role-playing games again, because I was familiar with Aliens, but and then like many folks, it was perhaps like one of my favorite games of all time, or one of my favorite films of all time. And so then when I gave it a whirl, and grabbed like the starter set, then I just loved that it was like so accessible, like that the rules were so simple, and it's great.
I think that's, on many levels, the Alien role-playing game is a great property for role-playing. Oftentimes, I don't find myself drawn to IPs for role-playing games. And because there's already a story, there's already a movie, you already have your heroes, and oftentimes the story itself is world affecting. And with Alien, you have not just a world, but an entire universe. And not everything is dependent upon the heroes of the movie. That's just one story. And so there's plenty of play space in that world, in that universe of Alien for a role-playing game, where I feel like sometimes other movie properties may not have that lifespan because you already know how it turns out. And so then you're trying to play in different eras, or you're trying to play on the fringes. And so, even the Star Wars universe, I love that role-playing game, but we kind of know that there's a focus there. And so when you're playing in that game, you kind of have to put yourself somewhere else in that environment, and maybe even a completely different timeline, or somewhere outside of the story you already know, and you know how it goes and where it's going. So anyway, that's what I like about Alien is that it just has so much potential, because it's an entire world laid out for you that doesn't have a restriction on what all has already happened.
Yeah. No, I've so like when I played The Walking Dead, for instance, it was almost a little too big and a little too free as far as like the world goes, because I mean, like you really, like as a game master, have to kind of like set up your like your rivals and try to make them like really clear, because the pardon me.
Oops.
I was like, what happened? Did we go?
No, that's one way to tell you guys that we're getting ready to go on commercial.
Right. So, but yeah, just the Walking Dead, it was just very very, very open ended, and so it's just like little hard to, just kind of like find like the end in sight, like find, like that to guide that story. And but
yeah, lots of well, again, you've got, whether it's Walking Dead, Aliens, those types of games bring in a lot of personal conflict.
Yeah.
And so, which is makes for great stories, but can be difficult at times when you're looking at a villain.
All right. And so we're going to take a little break, and then we will be coming back like with some Be Like a Crow and maybe a little more whispers in the walls, perhaps.
All right. I'll enjoy the.
It's time for a vacation, and Fairway Travels is here to share great specials for you to choose from. Discover the charm and features of one of Sandal's 16 all-inclusive, luxury included, adults-only resorts. Or a family-friendly beaches destination in the Caribbean. Or how about a couples resort in Jamaica? If cruising's your preference, get Thunderstroke aboard Carnival Cruise Lines or set sail on an award-winning Royal Caribbean ship. Join Virgin Voyages now for a wonderful adults-only sailing. It doesn't matter if you choose to travel by plane, train, automobile, cruise ship, or rowboat, we can help you reach your dream destination. Contact Fairway Travels today at 228-365-1012. That's 228-365-1012. Or email bookitnow247@gmail.com. Fairway Travels, where your journeys keep satisfying.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
So, we're good.
We're back.
Right, okay. So yeah, so we're going to just talk a bit about just some solo RPGs that we just kind of felt like I don't know, haven't quite gotten much love, and or perhaps like I don't know.
As we talk about socialization, now we're going to talk about not socializing and just playing a game all on your own. But I think a lot of people don't even realize that there are solo RPGs. And I also think that as role-playing games have become more prevalent, people see more podcasts about them, more videos. It's more involved in the television they see and everything else. That's great that it's bringing a lot of new people to the hobby, but it's also scaring a lot of people into thinking that they have to be that good because they're seeing professionals play these games, not just professional game players, but professional actors and voiceover artists. And one of the most common requests that, I get as a store owner is, when are you going to have your games? When can I show up and play? And my typical answer is, well, when can you show up in Game Master? And like, what? No, I can't Game Master. I just want to play. And then I also find that, talking with a lot of customers when we're selling a variety of different role-playing game books, and I ask them about their campaign or their character or what are they playing. And they're like, oh, I don't play. I'm reading this because I'm watching this podcast or listening to a podcast about it, and I wanted more information on the story, but I don't play. I couldn't do that. And like, well, yeah, you can. And maybe a solo RPG is a good way for people to start with that so that they kind of get a feel for it. I think like anything, you have to kind of practice and, get your brain in gear towards these types of ideas and being able to improvise or tell a story or be creative. It's in all of us. And some people just, as you begin to exercise those creative brain cells, the more you do it, the easier it is. And so the solo RPG gives you a way to start doing that without having anyone sitting outside you to tell you you're doing it wrong. And and of course, with role playing games, there is no doing it wrong. You're doing it to have fun. And despite the fact that my wife used to call me a fun hater, I would tell her that in reality, I love fun so much that it really disturbs me when people do it wrong. So, but really, not to dissuade people from the role playing game. So we have Be Like a Crow, and the best thing to do about it is to play a crow, and you can be a crow in any kind of environment. Where we have
Oh yeah. We got fancy.
And this lets you, of course, be a bit of a special crow, and enjoy whether it's a cyberpunk environment or a pirate environment.
Yeah, I had saw that there was like there's like a Western one.
There's some expansions to this for pirate. There's an expansion for Cthulhu, because everything has an expansion for Cthulhu.
Right.
And then but you don't need those. Within the book itself, it gives you everything you need to play a little adventure by yourself with a crow, or as a crow. And you don't have to be just your run-of-the-mill crow as well. You have a variety of options in here to play different types of corvid. So you have your magpies, of course, which I'm partial to, as I'm a Newcastle Premier League football fan. So if I'm going to be a crow, why not be a magpie, right?
Right. Yeah. So who are the villains in Be Like a Crow? Or
it's not so much that you're going up against potentially a villain, because you're telling the story as you go. So the villain's only there if you create it. Now, the idea is you play this with an average deck of cards. So you're not rolling dice. You're drawing cards from a deck, and then based upon the card that you draw, it gives you some events in your fights. So if you're having any kind of struggle, then there's a variety of things that you can do for, I don't know if I can see that, but each card you draw is going to give you, a headwind, slows you down, take another turn in this hex. You also have a lot of just general conflicts to overcome. So, and of course, what good is being a crow without being able to collect the shiny?
Right.
So there's other events that you can come up with. So it's not so much, you can add in a villain if you feel like one's appropriate as you play, but it could simply be a matter of, getting from point A to point B without dying.
Right. No, I gotta interrupt you. And I gotta ask you real quick. So, we've seen the cover of it. Like, is it chapters? Like, can we see the pages? Is there
sure.
for dumb people like me? Are there illustrations? I mean, I'm looking for a coloring book.
So I do love like how minimalist.
There we go. We'll show that real quick so that so there's some artwork in this.
Yeah, we definitely have. It's not quite a comic book, but there are illustrations to kind of get those brain cells firing on what you might do. And this comes along with how to create a fantasy crow objective. So when you talk about your villains again here, your objective could be to just create your own.
Red bar is watching.
Or it could be to, someone has stolen a thing from you and you have to travel to a location to retrieve it. So that's one of the options. And all of these are just random based upon what card you draw and how that pops about. And then you're just telling the story. Cards. So this is the part that intimidates a lot of people in a group role-playing game, because you're looking at this and going, okay, well, somebody's stolen something from me. What did they steal? And you might, well, I don't know what they stole, but there's no rush because you're playing this game by yourself. You can sit and think about it. You can go have dinner, go have a cup of coffee, come back to it, and then decide that, oh, they stole a prize ribbon from my nest that's been in my family for ages or whatever.
Now in the table of contents, does it have like the directions, because one thing about the military is we're notorious for having directions on everything, even
you gotta have your direction. So we have a great table of contents here. So everything is going to point out. This starts off with just introducing what is a solo role-playing game. What are you expected to do? All of us in the military want to know what our expectations are. What do we need to do to succeed? What's the mission? Tells you how to create your crow. It gives you basic rules on starting the game, how to take a turn. So even before, it doesn't just throw you and say, draw a card and do stuff. You have rules. And of course, we like our rules. I think that certainly from a military aspect, and those of us with other certain gifts realize that the could be a specialized test to tell you whether or not you also need to take an ADHD test.
Right.
And then, basic training is just an ADHDer's dream, because it's only mildly irritating to us. Our brain is just, everything that's going on in basic training, our brain is just going, thank you, drill sergeant. Can I have more? And all of that, rebuilding, restructuring, coming back, goes right into the rule set of this. And, we love our troubleshooting logic diagrams. So that's exactly what you get in the rules to this. I don't think there's any, if you look at this isn't even a very thick book. So it's not like you're looking at a game that is the size of a dictionary and you're thinking, right, I'm never going to be able to play this because I can't even read for that long, much less, here.
Right. It's so approachable. All of these solo RPGs are just, so accessible, so easy to read, and I love them.
So our chapter 3 is the rules, and those rules last all of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pages. 9 pages of rules out of this book. And everything else is just prompts on what happens when you draw a card.
All right. Well, then with that, we will we're going to take a little break and then get into some other games that are some of our favorites.
Cool.
Been home about 6 months now, and I still have my doubts. Well, I'm not sure how I got here or how I'm gonna get out. Well, my mama says I look the same as I did before I left, but if she could see inside of me, it would scare her to death. Well, I can still taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my sergeant screaming, run, soldier, run. And I can feel the backpack on my shoulders, God, it weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. Well, they taught me how to put that uniform on. I just can't get it off. Last Saturday they honored us in a small parade downtown, and when they shot off those fireworks, I nearly hit the ground. And while they smiled and cheered for us, all I could do was stare. 'Cause part of me is here at home, but part of me's back there. Well, I can still taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my shoulders, God and weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. They taught me how to put that uniform on. I just can't get it on. Yeah, there's no end in sight. 'Cause even though I'm home now, I'm still fighting for my life. Well, I can still taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my sergeant screaming, run, soldier, run. And I can feel the backpack on my shoulders, God and weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. Well, they taught me how to put that uniform on. I just can't get it all. Well, the devil's won some battles, and he may win some more. But don't he know the American soldier will always win the war?
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Right. And we are back. And yeah, I had mentioned like a little earlier Whispers in the Walls. Now, and I was cheating a little bit, you know, being that it is a journaling game and not so much like an RPG. And but what I did want to mention about Whispers in the Walls is it very much is reminiscent like of Be Like a Crow in the fact that you need a deck of cards to play, and so everything like throughout the book, you know, be it the walls, the ceiling, or the next room, is all like arrived at by the next card that you draw, and so has just a whole lot in common with Be Like a Crow in that way.
Yeah, Be Like a Crow they also have a deck of cards that are themed for Be Like a Crow, and I thought that I brought them with me. I was trying to dig those out, and I failed. So that's no
fantastic. And also one of my favorite solos that I have ran into recently is What Lies Beneath. And What Lies Beneath, you just need 2d6, so 2 6-sided dice to play this game. It is a solo dungeon crawler, and it is it's very choose your own adventure kind of.
Okay.
And I love that everything is like really very contained, you know, so it's just like you know, if you succeed, go to this page. If you fail, go to this page, you know, and what's cool is that you can even play it so random, and as I imagined you probably could, like with Be Like a Crow as well, that there are 6 classes, so you could almost play it, you know, like very randomly, but roll 1d6. Oh, I'm a bard, you know, like this, and or I'm going to be a warrior or what have you.
Okay, so a little more guided than you know, you're reading paragraphs, and you know, like you said, more like a choose your own adventure or a which way book, and which can be helpful for people that are maybe a little afraid of coming up with too many ideas on their own, at least initially. I think, like I said, everybody's got it in them, but that does seem to be a barrier of entry to role-playing games for a lot of people, is they just think they're not creative enough.
Right. Yeah. It really makes the book the GM, and so I love how it's written. It's written just appropriately descriptive, and even it goes so far as to even make some dexterity checks are actually like real dexterity games that you have to do with the dice. So like your dexterity number, is how many attempts that you have at a dexterity challenge, basically.
Okay.
And so it's and some of them, like are a little more clever than others about the actual challenge. And so it's kind of like rolling a particular value, is the challenge, or you just want to, like roll over what it calls a hit number, so you're like trying to roll over a 3 or whatever for a particular challenge or whatever. And so it's pretty great in just kind of how it articulates the world and how it articulates your challenges. And you
have a chance to succeed. You always, whether you're rolling the dice and keep going. I think that when people are coming from a traditional just solo game, if you think about a game like Solitaire, and again, you're just playing with cards, but those games always frustrated me because it's potential in many of those that you've lost before you began. However that deck is laid out, no matter what choices you make, that they're just not laid out in such a way that you can complete the game. Whereas, you add in the story element, you add in an element of chance with the dice rolling or the card draws, as well as your own ability to just decide what happens next and what's cool and what's not. And so these are not always games about winning or losing, but just having a good time telling a story and then ending up with a result that you're happy with. And it doesn't have to be a succeed or fail.
Well, and even in the event, that it does have a failure consequence or whatever, it's so quick to kind of get yourself back in the game, I mean, that and just, jump into, and pull up another character real quick, and you're back at it, so,
Okay.
But I want to thank everyone who was listening today. We introduced you to some solo RPGs that you may not have heard of, and we look forward to playing some of these games like in the near future, and also let us know what you want to see played. We will be playing and doing this every Wednesday.
Yeah, do you have a preview of what you guys are going to be playing next week?
Oh, I wish. No, I would.
You made me think ahead.
Right.
Maybe some board games next week instead of some role playing games.
Yeah,
to switch
board
it up
games,
a little bit.
Role playing games. And by all means, reach out to us, and let us know, what you'd like to see, and and hopefully, we'll be able to.
And certainly, if you're in the Denver area, then come to Enchanted Grounds, and I'll be happy to tell you all about Be Like a Crow or anything else that your heart desires.
A fantastic store that I highly recommend.
If you don't mind my shameless plug.
So, so thank you, and we look forward to playing with you guys very soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.